James Grande, welcome into the Better Baseball MLB DFS Playbook live stream here. We're recording. We're not recording. We're live. 12-game slate here on a Friday. I do that all the time, man.
First day back, John.
Trying to break back into the groove of things here. I was away for 14 days on the honeymoon, gallivanting around Europe, Italy, Greece, Croatia. All of it was great. But honestly, no better place than here with you, James, talking a little MLB DFS slate, my guy. 12 games. 12 games.
Well, I appreciate it, John, very much so. But, let's cut the BS. I mean, you were gallivanting around Europe without socks, and I know you felt the just sand between your toes, and that couldn't be worse thought in my mind. But I know I appreciate it. Tell me about it's hilarious. Mark always would chime in first, of course, but I appreciate it. Happy Friday, John, per usual. But 14 days in Europe, talking Twins. Yeah. I mean, I know those two things are very close because of how much we like the Twins, but you weren't here. They've let us down for 14 straight.
I was in Venice, not France, Mark. So,
well,
close, but not really. If you have a chance to go to Venice, It was great. Went to Greece, awesome. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, went to Dubrovnik, Croatia, where they filmed stuff. So some cool things there. But I was following along. I was watching your streams. I was keeping tabs and everything that was going on here at Fantasy Alarm during the MLB DFS scene. Couldn't play any MLB DFS over there in Europe. So was Jones going to get back into it. First day back. Did the playbook today. That is live. 12 games broken down at your fingertips there. If you're a member of the Fantasy Alarm family. If you're not a member of the Fantasy Alarm family, of course, you can always go ahead, subscribe, go to fantasyalarm.com/allpro. Promo code MLB50 will get you 50% off the first 6 months. You get a 7-day free trial. And more importantly, included in all of that is also the Fantasy Football Draft Guide. I wrote a draft guide article today as well, breaking down the quarterback ADP tiers. So no rest here for me. I was out back to work full force today. Also did the RT Sports video. We'll talk a little bit of RT Sports in the show today as well. So stay tuned for all of that. James, my guy, let's talk a little bit about what we got going on here tonight. Before we jump into the positional breakdowns, we got 12 games here. Let's talk a little Vegas odds here. Talk to me about Vegas odds. Talk to me about spreads.
Yeah, so the most notable over-unders we have on the board today resides in Oakland, Boston, 10.5. It opened at 10.5. It stayed there. The over is actually on a lot of sports books the slight favorite as well. And obviously that's Boston related, but Boston isn't exactly throwing out any studs on the mound, right? So 10.5 in that game, 10 implied runs in Texas, Washington, Cody Bradford going up against Trevor Williams. We have a 9 implied run in the Battle of Los Angeles, LA Angels headed to Los Angeles Dodgers. Those are the only game environments that have 9 implied totals. And then when you look at some money lines just as the biggest favorites on the board, Boston is minus 235 over on FanDuel, minus 225 on DraftKings, so expected to win big. Zach Gallen in the Arizona Diamondbacks, minus 200 pretty much across the industry up against Pittsburgh. Minus 175 is Tony Gonsolin and the Los Angeles Dodgers. And John, I just, pointing to Mark's comment about Austin Gomber, he is, even though he called him Alvin, he is a plus dog, a pretty big dog today. Yeah. And, that's, I guess, not surprising considering it is in San Francisco. But San Francisco, minus 165 at home. Austin Gomber in the Colorado Rockies, plus 140. So
it's not that bad a bit. We've seen worse dogs. We've seen guys plus 210, plus 300. So plus 140 is kind of a competitive dog. You're not even getting 1.5 to 1 on the money. So that kind of makes me like Austin Gomber a little bit more today. But we'll talk about pitching. We'll break it all down here, James. New segment added to the show since I've been gone, James. Here we got a little bit of RT Sports now involved in the program. We do an RT Sports pick of the day. Let's take a moment and get to that. Little RT Sports here for everybody, James, right? Why don't you tell those who are not yet tuned in a little bit about RT Sports, what we can expect with our newfound partner here on the stream?
Yeah, RT Sports, aka Real Time Sports, and you guys can head over to Real Time Sports and play their daily pick'em contest. All you got to do is set a lineup of player props, hit them all, and you win. They have NFL, MLB, NBA, PGA, and a lot more sports. You have to head to rtsports.com/alarm. And first time depositors get a 100% instant match up to $200 with deposit code ALARM23. That is rtsports.com/alarm. And new depositors get 100% instant match up to $200 using code ALARM23. ALARM23, one word, ALARM23. And please play responsibly. For help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And if you're tuning in, you're watching on YouTube, you got a little QR code here as well. You can scan the QR code on the screen. Takes you right to RT Sports. Plug in that promo code and take advantage of everything that we got going on there. James, let's give them our RT Sports daily DFS pick'em picks of the day here. I did the video. Those of you who go over to Fantasy on YouTube, check out the Fantasy on Twitter. My plays of the day are already out there. I went ahead and went Ketel Marte over 5.5 fantasy points there against Rich Hill. That was a pretty easy play for me this afternoon. And then Leody Taveras over half a run scored. Love that spot against Williams in Washington here tonight. Is that prop
off
still
the board?
They pulled it off the board. SOBs, those guys. So those were the plays I had earlier. At least Marte's still out there for us to take advantage of. So why don't you complete our 2-pick play here, James? Give everybody your favorite RT Sports pick of the day.
Yeah, I'll go with Jordan Montgomery over 5 strikeouts. Been over this in 5 straight starts. He's getting in deep into games, and since June 1st, White Sox have a 27% strikeout rate against left-handed pitching. So I'm going to go Jordan Montgomery over 5 strikeouts to pair with your Ketel Marte 5.5 fantasy points.
Love that. So you can go ahead, take advantage of that, get a 3x potential return over at Real Time Fantasy Sports. You can take advantage of their DFS daily pick'em games there again. New users who sign up, you can click the link there. You go to Fantasy Alarm. What was it again, James? Give the URL again. Is it Real Time Fantasy Sports /alarm? Is that what the
It's rtsports.com/alarm.
Okay. Go to that. Type in alarm 23. New users get a 100% deposit match up to $200 there and get in on the action there for Real Time Fantasy Sports. That said, James, let's turn our action back to DraftKings slate here. We're breaking it down. 12 games. We'll kick it off over at the pitching position, where again, if we're looking at what we got going on at the top, Abbott, Gallen, Castillo, Brown, Rodon, and Burns, all 9K or above. We commented on the podcast this morning about lack of 10K or above pitching. We targeted in on Andrew Abbott. He was one of our favorite starters. The matchup against Milwaukee is just ridiculous. Abbott was a big strikeout guy at the minor league level. Didn't really show that in his first couple starts of the year, but now 30 strikeouts over his last 3 outings for Abbott against a team that strikes out the most in baseball against Southpaws. What do you think the expected ownership is tonight on Andrew Abbott?
So right now he's one of 4 pitchers over 20%. His opposition in this game, Zach Gallen and Hunter Brown, are the 4 expected over 20%. So, he is the 4th highest owned pitcher. I kind of expected it going into the slate that we wouldn't get like one dominant number on somebody, because when we were talking about it, there wasn't one dominant name that you and I were just like, yes, must play this guy, have to play him. Like, we liked Abbott, we liked Gallen, we liked some mid-tier options. There was no one that we were like, yes, please. And Abbott is still, there's still some peripheral sketchiness, although he has obviously quieted that down with the amount of strikeouts he's had, and now with the matchup against Milwaukee, who still leads the league in strikeouts. So I like Abbott quite a bit, and I have no problem getting there. I don't know if I'm getting there myself in single entry, just because I like the guy below him just a little bit more. But I have absolutely no issue getting to Abbott, especially when you're coming off 10, 8, and 12 strikeouts. That is what's king on DraftKings. We've said it ad nauseum this year, and it reigns, it holds true.
Yeah, best again. It's just also just the matchup we've been absolutely hammering all year long. Lefties against Milwaukee here. Gallon's at 96. I don't mind that against Pittsburgh. Obviously, he's been a bit up and down, but coming off of a big strikeout performance in his own right, 12 Ks against the Angels for him last time out. I said on the podcast last night, I'll reiterate it again here tonight. Luis Castillo is my fade of this section. I'm just worried about the home runs that he's allowed. 9 home runs over the last 5 starts for him here. He's obviously been giving up runs, he's been giving up hits. As you talked about on DraftKings, like they ding you for all of that. So if he's not getting a win, if he's not having an elite strikeout game, you're paying primo dollar for 16, 6, and 13 fantasy points and 3 of the last 5 here. So I understand no Yordan Alvarez. I understand there's no Jose Altuve in this Houston lineup, but I still worry a little bit about this spot for Luis Castillo in Houston tonight. So of the 9K range, he's my one fade.
Yeah, I mean, Yainer Diaz. I mean, Jose Altuve died, so Yainer Diaz can fly, and Jose Abreu has been reincarnated into the player he's been for the last 10 years in the last month. So, like, Houston, although, on paper, 2 of their best hitters, if not their best 2 hitters, are out, they are just fine. Corey Julks is hitting 700 over his last, 5 games. Chas McCormick has been it's a deep lineup for Houston that has been better. So I agree. I think it's a scary proposition to go Castillo, and him being, relatively high owned, about 18%. He's right after that top tier of names that are 20% or up. I'm perfectly fine going against the field there. This is kind of my sentiment of how I felt about Luis. He's not pitching like Luis Severino, but this is similar ownership to Severino yesterday. And we saw what happened. I'm not saying that he's going to give up 9 runs in 2 innings, but I'm okay fading the field here. And
Mark asking, is Burnes seriously the top projected going up against Cincinnati?
Yes.
Does that mean Cincinnati's going to be 5%? Probably, which obviously gives you good leverage on big slates to separate yourself from the field here. Obviously, Corbin Burnes. Again, a guy that's been dominant and then a guy that's been tagged at times. So, against Cincinnati, earlier this year, 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 7 strikeouts in that game. So it wasn't like complete shutout here. So, I talked about it when it happened. A guy like Ellie De La Cruz gets into that lineup and it just changes everything for how that lineup is viewed and how they have to pitch around guys like that.
They're 21-6. They're 21-6 with LED.
And you look around, like Jonathan India had 2 home runs the other day. McLean's still hitting. Spencer Steer's having a breakout season. Friedel, Fraley, like Will Benson even is having a pretty good year. So, like, these guys are coming up. They're producing. So I'm with you, Mark. It could be a good spot. I know you're in the 3 max. Making a Cincy lineup tonight is one of those 3 and just seeing if you get if Burnes falls apart here at home. The other thing with Castillo is the home road splits, and Burnes kind of the same thing. An over 4 ERA at home for Corbin Burnes. Luis Castillo on the road this year, over 4 ERA in road games. So, another reason maybe to look at Houston tonight. When we go down into the mid-tier, there was a couple names you and I broke down. I did the playbook today. I wrote up Aaron Savale here at $7,700 against KC. Cheaper than Montgomery, cheaper than Verlander, are 2 guys that I know you like. Savale, again, another guy that's a good favorite to get a win tonight. Going up against Daniel Lynch in Kansas City.
Yeah, I wrote him up. I actually wrote Savale up in my Value Vault article as well. So me and you are in lockstep there. I mean, he's been good for a pitching staff that's kind of been depleted and was supposed to be the bread and butter, I think, of the Guardians this year. It's been, and I know it's a small sample, just 8 games, but Savale's arguably been their best pitcher, if not their second best pitcher from the 8 games he started. I mean, sub 3 ERA. He's been good against good teams. He's been better on the road, which is a little scary because he's home here and he's given up 12 of the 15 runs he's allowed this year at home. But we know the deficiencies of Cincinnati. They're 29th in OPS. They're 28th in WOBA against right-handed pitching. They're 4th in strikeout rate. They've just been waxed by right-handed pitcher after right-handed pitcher after right-handed pitcher all week long. And it's been all season long, but specifically this week has been terrible for their offense. I don't see that slowing down. Now, does Savali have the most strikeout upside on this slate? No, but we've actually seen before the Chicago Cubs start 5, 6, and 7 strikeouts in 3 consecutive outings. There is a solid ceiling in that department.
You mentioned on the stream, if he gives you what he did against Oakland, but gets a win, you're looking at 22 fantasy points tonight. So,
yep, and 77 and 7 at 7,700.
100%. So it's not that I don't care for Verlander. I think you can go there if you want. Padres obviously always a little bit of a scary lineup to navigate around. Montgomery lately unbelievable. White Sox do have guys that hit left-handed pitching in that lineup. So again, got to navigate around Robert, Eloy, Berger, Vaughn, like guys like that have a lot of power. Got to navigate around that. Savali feels like the easiest lineup to pitch through here with the Royals, as long as Salvi doesn't get to him or Bobby Witt, is just being Bobby Witt at this point, power and speed. But I like that a lot. And then it comes down to my value play call today. I wrote him up in the playbook. Mark called him Alvin Gomber affectionately. It's Austin Gomber here, coming off of a really good start against Detroit in Coors, 7 innings, 2 earned, 7 strikeouts there. Against the Angels in Coors, 5 innings, 2 earned, not like an awful outing for him. He's $5,400. He's had 13 or more fantasy points in 4 straight, which again, at $5,400, you get 13 fantasy points. Maybe he gets a win against San Francisco, because you talked about it. This San Francisco lineup, really nothing special. They're missing a lot of their top guys. They're lefty heavy. A lot of their good hitters are generally left-handed as well. So Gomber might have some sneaky upside in this spot here. The Giants are the worst team in baseball in terms of like WOBA and batting average against lefties over the last 2 weeks. They have a high strikeout rate. It's not a perfect scenario, but he's a $5,400 pitcher. So, if you're looking to get different, looking to get, throw a dart out here, there's reason to believe that Austin Gomber could be a play here tonight.
Yeah, and it's not like the strikeouts haven't been there all year for San Francisco. It's 26.2% strikeout rate against lefties. Like we were talking about it earlier in the year, where they were just striking out a lot, but they were putting bats on ball as well. They've also fallen below 700, a 700 team OPS against left-handed pitching for the year. So things have really gone south for them against left-handed pitching. I mean, that OPS is 24th in the league, paired with a 26% strikeout rate and just a 130 ISO. So you can't even say that like they're hitting for power, because the 130 ISO, John, is 29th in the league.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And now you're putting them back in their home ballpark, which presents little to no power upside. So I'm with you. I've come around on Austin Gomber. Another guy I also wrote up. The two value plays that both you and I wrote up today were Savali and Gomber. And I do like Jordan Montgomery a lot, just to spotlight him a little bit. The last month has not been fruitful for the White Sox, pretty much outside of 2 guys against lefties, Andrew Vaughn and Luis Robert. And even our boy Jake Berger has struggled mightily lately. I mean, he's striking out, and he put out a statement like that his wife saw the adjustment that he had to make, and he like made a joke about it, but like she was right. And like, why aren't the White Sox hitting coaches? Nothing to take away from his wife. I don't know what she played like collegiately or whatever, but like, why aren't the White Sox hitting coaches? Like, what are the White Sox doing over there that they're not helping Jake Berger make, or the rest of the team make adjustments? Over the last month, the White Sox have ranked near the bottom in pretty much every offensive category against left-handed pitching, and they have a 25.7% strikeout rate. Their OPS, as I mentioned, 21st in the league, 302 WOBA, like 139 ISO, which is what the bread and butter of that offense is supposed to be. 20th in the league, like all bottom 10 marks, and Jordan Montgomery just churning out quality start after quality start after quality start. And maybe the cover boy of my PrizePicks video over on fantasyalarm.com as well. Jordan Montgomery, 17.5 outs was an interesting prop today, John.
Yeah. Now, what do we have for a rostership on Bailey Ober here tonight? Because he is plus 130 to get a win tonight over on DraftKings Sportsbook. One of the better odds on the board. He's got a 6.5 strikeout prop as well. Obviously last night in Baltimore, they hung up some runs here, but where are we on Bailey Ober here tonight?
3%.
That's what I'm
3%.
saying.
That's 3% higher than Austin Gomber, John.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if we're looking for pivots on large slates here, the guy's gone 7 or more strikeouts. Quick math here, that's 5 of the last 7 outings for Bailey Ober, and he's one of the best favorites on the board to get a W. And now that's not like Minnesota's like the biggest favorite on the board, but for him, to me, basically means like if Minnesota's winning this game, Bailey Ober's getting the W, getting the 4 points we need. You talk pivots all the time on large slates here. I agree with you on Montgomery, but Bailey Ober is a little interesting here for me.
So I definitely agree in terms of pivot. Baltimore's offense is obviously lefty heavy. He's been worse against righty power. Like righty power has given the most issues to Bailey Ober. I think the scariest part for me is that he is a big time fly ball pitcher, and the Orioles have a lot of dudes that can put the ball out. Like Gunnar, 256 ISO against righties. Santander, 210 ISO against righties. O'Hearn, 237. Cedric Mullins, 186. Aaron Hicks, 163. And now you plug Colton Cowser, Jordan Westberg at the back end of that lineup. Like it's a pretty good Orioles lineup in terms of power. That's the only thing that scares me. The Twins have a very solid implied total today, 5.1 implied runs. They face a pitcher in Cole Irvin that was good for Oakland a couple years ago and then hasn't been and faced a lot of injuries and has kind of been rocked against right-handed batters specifically. And the first, 7 batters tonight in the Twins lineup, 8 of 9 are from the right side, and that's what give Cole Irvin issues. Now, that is not me endorsing Twins. Let the record state.
This is the Better Baseball MLB DFS Twins playbook live stream.
Not endorsing Twins tonight. I'm also not endorsing Twins. If you catch my drift.
I'm only mentioning Bailey Ober. I haven't talked about any of the hitters.
I'm just saying that they are significantly higher in terms of implied runs, and they are big favorites in this game. So I could see a scenario where Bailey Ober wins. I don't know if he pays off his salary at 83, but it is worth mentioning, like 7 scoreless against the same team.
I was going to say, he just 2-hit them, got pulled at 85 pitches in 7 innings in a 1-0 game. So again, sometimes that's not good. Sometimes pitchers who just face the team again, they struggle. So, the team has a different approach, but again, I just saw the Vegas numbers there, and you're telling me he's 3%. You're going Montgomery or Verlander tonight. You want to pivot. Go throw an Ober, Gomber combined 3% rostership tonight. BZ, give me Twins or death. Mark, give me Twins or riot. Love it.
BZ gets the show. BZ gets the show here.
He does.
He gets.
All right, let's move on over to catcher here. Enough for the pitching. We'll circle back for everybody a little bit later on as we go through it all. Catcher here. Jonah Heim is very expensive at $4,800. But obviously Trevor Williams, not a good pitcher. Do we have a weather update on this game?
No concerns. I think everything has gotten better throughout the day.
Okay.
I guess they're our good friend Kevin Roth is quoted as saying, "It's Washington and they do dumb stuff."
I literally wrote that in the playbook. I said it's Washington, and any sense of dampness, they postpone games. So
you and Kevin Roth are Spider-Man memeing at each other.
Well, we just knew. I mean, when they postponed a game like 2 years ago when it never rained, it was just down. It was downhill from there. So yeah, something to at least watch of that game, obviously. But Heim's there. If you're not in on Zavala, we know Salvi Perez has only had power against righties this year, so monster potential for him there. If you think there's some regression for Abbott, we like to joke about like sample sizes and nitpicking stats. Scrolling through betting Twitter earlier today, somebody threw out the right-handed road splits against Andrew Abbott here today, and it's like a 550 xFIP or something like that. Mind you, he's had 3 road starts, which he gave up like 1 total run in those 3 road starts. But it was 2 of them were in his like no strikeout era, so the numbers didn't look that great. But he hasn't given up a lot of power. But we know William Contreras hits lefties there. I mean, I like Yadier Diaz against Castillo because I'm kind of going against Castillo. You mentioned on the show today, this morning, you like Sabal. Great numbers against lefties here. For him in the mid-tier, $3,700.
No, Patrick Bailey. Patrick Bailey.
Patrick Bailey. No, rather, not Sabal. Bailey there, great numbers against lefties. Yan Gomes is hitting cleanup tonight against Carlos Rodon.
Oh, no.
And $3,400. I think the Angels are a pretty sneaky play tonight against Gonsolin, who all his peripheral numbers are trash. I'm curious what's going to happen with Boston here tonight.
Yep.
I don't know if you see now, they have a new starter for Oakland.
He's open.
Opener, right? Opener. So, like, how long does Long stay out there? When do they go to Medina? They re-signed Jorge Alfaro. So Alfaro's back in Boston, and he's with the main club because Reese McGuire is on the IL. So do they go Wong? Do they go Alfaro?
They start Wong. We got the lineup. Wong's in the lineup tonight.
Okay. Oh, that's even better. I like Connor Wong down to $2,500.
Same.
So a lot of value catching tonight. Anyone in particular jump out to you?
Yeah, I wrote up Francisco Alvarez today in today's value article because of his dominance against right-handed pitching this year. And when you look at the split against Yu Darvish this year, John, Yu Darvish, 214 ISO allowed to right-handed bats this year. Francisco Alvarez, 328 ISO against righties, leads the team. 378 WOBA also leads the team. And he's homered in 3 straight games in 4 or 5. So Francisco Alvarez for me, I love the Patrick Bailey play. I love Yan Gomes, 3,400. I love Connor Wong. We kind of joked about it, like, as we were leaving our value plays on the podcast this morning, like, could face a righty. Well, Medina has been terrible against right-handed pitching. Yeah. And I know Long is starting this game. I don't even think Connor Wong ever faces Long unless, like, this first inning. Yeah, because he hasn't pitched Long in his starts this year. I mean, his last, 7 appearances have been 1 inning or less. Yeah. Welcome back to the show, John. I kind of like Connor Wong. First off, Boston, you and I both got to Boston at the end of the show this morning. We were like, all right, all in Red Sox, right? So, like, only fair to go to the guy who mashes righties against a guy who stinks against righties when Connor Wong's the cheapest option we have in the Red Sox lineup.
And he's good. 3 hits last night against Evaldi. I mean, like, you want to play Red Sox tonight, go play him on FanDuel. I did the playbook today. Yoshida's under 3K. Duran's under 3K. Devers is like $3,400. Like, Turner was like $3,200. Like, they're all free squares over on FanDuel if you're buying in to the Red Sox here this evening. So go check that out. Our guy Michael Rojas here likes Higashioka against Tyon tonight. Any interest?
Higashioka's only ever hit lefties, and Tyon only serves up any damage to lefties. So I'm gonna pass there. I think Wong, and I think if we're punting another catcher, it's one of whoever starts for Arizona.
Yeah, Kelly or Moreno.
Yep.
All right. Over at first base here tonight, again, I like Ohtani, Freeman, all of them are in. Christian Walker, of course, going to be a core play of a lot of lineups, even though he's 5,400. We just like the guy against left-handed pitching. So lock in those guys for me for sure. But where are you on Alonso here against Darvish? I saw some people asking about that earlier today. Any interest?
Yeah, I mean, when we talked about the Francisco Alvarez numbers against righties, the Darvish power allowed against righties is no joke. 214 ISO is bad. Like, that is just bad. And Darvish has been hit hard. And like we saw last night, Pete Alonso can leave any yard at any time, any pitch he gets. I know he's been slumping, obviously. 288 ISO is second on the team. Probably
still has 26 home runs.
So, he still has 26 home runs. Like, dude, the guy is just one of the 2 best power hitters in the league. Like, him and Aaron Judge, and I guess you throw Ohtani in there, one of the 3 best power hitters in the league. And he can leave any yard. Now, no one's playing the Mets. They have 3.7 implied runs is one of the lowest totals on the board. You want to talk about contrarian, running like a Pete Alonso, Francisco Alvarez stack and just moving on after just 3 straight wins in Arizona, like beating a team that was winning their division. So, I'm okay getting to Alonso in tournaments. I think it's not a single entry play. I think it's a play that if you're multi-entering, you get a couple shares of Mets. But I like Alonso. Do I like him more than like Walker though? That's the ultimate question. I don't know if I do.
Yeah, again, Christian Walker a little bit more consistent lately, going up against Rich Hill at $5,400. I'm in there. I like Nathaniel Lowe again. If this game gets off here, obviously Rangers always a team that has a high implied run total. I got Mark in chat. Rizzo's got the BVP numbers going up against Tyon. Of course, we always talk about liking Rizzo at home. Numbers still hold up. 305, 491 slug, 878 OPS at home this season. The Yankees lineup is just generally trash now without Aaron Judge in there, but Tyon not anything overly special here. So I don't mind going Rizzo when he's at home. But I mean, Justin Turner's playing himself to a new team by the trade deadline. Like 285, 13 home runs for Justin Turner, 50 RBI for Justin Turner right now before the All-Star break. I mean, 2 hits in 3 straight games, hits in 5 straight at 4K. You like Red Sox. I'm glad they put him back to first base, so I didn't have to choose between him and Devers. Big fan of the bearded one here and Justin Turner.
I mean, this guy has been kind of an elite hitter for like
a long time.
Almost a decade.
Yeah, and I know he was washed, but he's come to friendly confines of Fenway Park, and he's enjoying himself here.
Yeah, he's definitely enjoying himself.
309 average at home. 466 slug. So
he's definitely gonna be sad when he gets traded to like Tampa Bay and has to play at the Trop for like all of his home games or something like that.
Some contending team is gonna trade for Justin Turner.
Yeah. I'm perfectly fine with it. I mean, at the very least, he gets the one at bat against a lefty, and we know he's been incredible against lefties this year. 267 ISO, 404 WOBA. That's either first or second on the team in both categories. So love Justin Turner, and he hits righties well too. I'm not saying he doesn't, but he obviously thrives against lefties. So I think Justin Turner. To Mark's point about Rizzo, like I don't know much. I don't necessarily care about the BVP, but what I do like is how bad, and we've said this all year, is Jameson Taillon against lefties.
Right.
346 ISO allowed, 452 WOBA, almost a 38% fly ball rate. Like it's all bad for Taillon, and now has to face lefties in Yankee Stadium. Like unfortunately, the Yankees have 3, and one of them is Frankie Cordero. So not exactly like the scariest group of lefties, but Rizzo as a one-off, I'm perfectly fine with.
I'm with you there. And then I guess I'll throw out Oakland actually has a surprising high implied team run total because Red Sox are going bullpen game here tonight. Notice at 2,900 hitting third. Bells hitting fifth against Lynch at $2,800. Solano hitting second at $2,600 here tonight. So there's some value on the board if you want to kind of work your way down in this spot.
Yeah, I'm okay with some of those guys. Probably Solano. I like Cassis too. If as a just another I would play like almost all Red Sox tonight. And I would also throw a dart at David Fry at 2,200, who has been good against lefties in a short period of time for the Guardians.
Sounds good. Moving on over to second base tonight. Obviously, if your top guys here, cover of the playbook was Ketel Marte. We also mentioned him, our RT Sports pick'em plays. I like them over the 5.5 fantasy points there. I think he easily goes over the 5.5 fantasy points here tonight, hopefully for my sake, because I'm paying $5,900 for him. So, I like this spot. Again, he's showing some power here. All 12 home runs Rich Hill has allowed this season to come against right-handed hitters. So, big fan of Ketel Marte there at $5,900. Where are you going at second base?
I mean, that's it for like spend ups. I don't necessarily want to spend up anywhere. I think the next position or the next player I would honestly go to, it's not recency bias. At least it's not yesterday recency bias. It's Andres Jimenez, who, yes, is obviously coming off maybe a career game where he went for 38 fantasy points, a home run, an RBI, 3 runs, 3 stolen bases, a walk. Yeah. Like he was an absolute menace yesterday, like the key to Thursday's slate. But you and I have talked about this every time there's a lefty facing the Guardians. He hits lefties as well as he hits righties, if not better. Like 352 WOBA this year, 155 ISO. He's obviously in that rhythm where he's stealing against anyone, 6 stolen bases over his last 10 games. So yesterday obviously wasn't a fluke. He's up to 14 on the year now. Andres Gimenez is a demon against lefties. And for what it's worth, Daniel Lynch, it's a small sample this year, 426 wOBA allowed to lefties. John, last year, 377 wOBA allowed to lefties. Like, this is now back-to-back years where he struggles against left-handed bats. No one's going to play the Guardians. Can't say I blame anyone for not playing the Guardians, but Andres Gimenez is a fine one-off, or if you want to do a little mini stack with him and Jose Ramirez, I'm perfectly fine with that too.
Yeah, I like him. I also think Perdomo's kind of interesting. Now, all the power for Perdomo is against right-handed pitching, all 5 of his home runs, but against lefties this year, 323 batting average. So you're getting the better hitting split for him here. If you like Arizona, sometimes he leads off. He might lead. I mean, but no Corbin Carroll. I'm very interested to see how this lineup will shake out here tonight. But something to look at there. Dubon's leading off. For some value, you have Westberg hitting 5th if you're not buying into our Bailey Ober spot there. Anybody else for you at second base?
No, I mean, Mark did mention Kyle Farmer, but here's the problem. As soon as a righty comes in, Edward Julian gets pinch hits for Farmer, and then it's curtains for Farmer's value. There's the Twins are turning into the Giants in the American League, where nobody's safe from getting pinch hit for. So, I mean, if you want to play Farmer, fine. I don't think we need to.
I mentioned Solano already. Tony Kemp leading off tonight for Oakland. Maybe appealing 4 stolen bases the last 10. If you're not in on the bullpen game for Boston, I mean,
And Jordan Diaz hitting second, 2,100. Yeah. Like they're hitting both these guys 1-2. You're right. Like Boston and the guy that's going bulk innings is in relief yesterday. He threw a relief inning, so who knows how fresh he really is to throw more innings today.
Right. Did they DFA Kluber yet while I was gone? Did that ever happen?
No, he's still actively pitching.
You might get Klubot in this game here tonight.
Oh my God, I'm stacking Oakland. Let's go. First game, you're back. We're playing Austin Gomber in Oakland. I mean, what are we doing? Like,
we haven't even hit the Nationals yet, and if that game goes off, we're in on that. Third base here. Again, Jose Ramirez, big fan of his. Played him last night. Homered. $5,800.
Big fan. You're a big fan of his.
Big fan.
Huge fan.
You're
the biggest fan. The biggest Jose
Ram. No one's a bigger fan of J Ram than me.
Jan Ram, I think it was, right? Wasn't your name Jan Ram?
Whatever it was. Love the stolen bases lately. Has the power. It's 5,800. If you get there, great. Ellie, same thing. You want to play him? Who might tell you no? Man's electric. Devers though is $4,900.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
I'm a fan. Getting him at home. Batting average is there lately, 351 with 1,000 OPS. And has 68 RBIs. The batting average has been a killer for him, but everything else has been there for that Red Sox offense. So loving Devers at 49. He's the cover of the show today for a reason. Can't tell you no on Gunnar after the show that he just put on. The gun show last night, just absolute, just 2 homers, 5 RBIs.
In 4 innings, by the way. In four innings.
4 innings. Value though, do we have any value that we found appealing at all here?
It's Westberg, Miranda. If you want to play last year's statistics, if anything, like he's been dreadful this year. He raked at AAA when he got sent down, and all he did last year was hit lefties. So that's it. Like I think third base is the opportunity cost position of the day today. Because if you're like moving off of
where's
Jose
Longo?
Ramirez,
you got Longo.
Oh yeah, Longo's the one guy. $3,400. He's the one guy that I would spend down on. I feel like everything else is a miss because Devers is going to be so highly owned, and you can get to Jung or you can get to Ramirez. Like you're missing the boat if you're not spending up. Other than Longoria. Yeah,
Longoria is there. And of course, if you want to pivot like Emmanuel Rivera is cheap, a little bit cheaper, $2,900 gets a lefty. You could do that too. Shortstop. We talked Ellie's got the multi-position eligibility. Seager's here at 62. If this game plays off, Williams allowing over 300 average and over 800 OPS to lefties. So would be another full systems go here for Texas. Tonight, if you wanted to spend all the way up, I do like Lindor. I know it's not the right split for him, but again, Darvish has been susceptible this year to some power, and Lindor's obviously coming off of a pretty good game. Carlos Correa is leading off at $4,600 against a lefty. Again, Minnesota, we're kind of buying into that spot there. And I still think Pena at 4K against Castillo again. I think Houston is a contrarian stack today is interesting.
Yeah, so definitely Texas. We haven't talked a lot of Texas yet. We're
coming to their big guys soon, right?
We're coming to their big guys. They're just expensive too. Like Semien was the top price. Second baseman Seager. Lowe is he's pretty expensive too. I think Lowe is like 46. So like $4,600 at first. So like they're expensive. I'm definitely okay getting to Corey Seager. I think they have the second highest implied run total for a reason today. So 6,200 for Seager, no problem getting there. Lindor does hit better in the summer months if you look at his history of his whole entire career. So, 40 fantasy points last night, 2 triples. Like if you just stop, dude, you have a cycle. But, he also didn't know he's going to hit a home run in his next at bat. Definitely can get there. I don't know about Correa. I'm a little on the fence. I like that he's leading off. Had a 4-hit game the other day. Just like needs 4 hits to even like provide upside though, because there's still no power. There's still no like even that was 2 doubles in his last. 4 extra base hits in his last like 50 games, dude. It's hard to get there. The interesting thing about Pena is he's hitting 5th tonight. I find that very interesting because he's been hitting near the bottom of the lineup for some time. Has been a little better outside of yesterday's offer, but was riding a 6-game hitting streak before that. Hits in 8 of 9 or 9 of 10 before that. So
has some power, has some speed, righty on the mound. So could go there. Dubon's leading off. Volpe's leading off. Any interest there?
I mean, dude, Volpe's been awesome. I mean, I don't know if you were if you were abroad yet when they switched his stance and they talked about
I was away when he broke out because I came back and saw everybody playing Volpe and I was like, what's happening?
Yeah, he had gone through a stance switch and like just started going off, and then Aaron Boone put him back in the lineup spot yesterday. And I'm okay getting to. I mean, we have a lot of leadoff hitters, right? Like, look at it, dude. Dubois is leading off tonight. Volpe's leading off tonight. Tovar's leading off tonight. Maikel Garcia's leading off tonight. JP Crawford leading off tonight. We have like 7 different leadoff hitters, 3,600 or below at shortstop. And
I like Crawford. I could get to Crawford tonight.
Homered again yesterday, dude. A little power surge for JP Crawford lately.
Yeah, I got a little interesting here. Boston activated Yu Chang and play shortstop for them. I mean, he had like some games, but I'm not. That's not where I'm going tonight, Mark.
Well, do you want a sliver here? Do you want a sliver of hope?
Yeah, give me the splits.
Okay. It's a BVP like sample, okay? It's a 14 at bat sample. 462 ISO, 352 WOBA. Last year though
against righties?
No, that's against lefties.
He's not going to face long though.
All right, so this year against righties, 097 ISO, 165 WOBA. Last year 161 ISO, 321 WOBA.
He's really not on this team to play offense. He's there because he's the only true shortstop they have like in their organization until Story's back and Mayer's ready to go. So that's
enough
why
enough Kike at shortstop.
Yeah, Kike's back to the outfield. He's done at short. So there was rumors that they were going to maybe pick up Jose Iglesias because he opted out of his Padres deal. That never happened. All right. Let's go on over to outfield here unless you have any other shortstops you'd like to discuss.
No, there's 9 people, like the 9 shortstop we mentioned.
9 shortstops. Yeah. I agree with you. Outfielders, Ohtani for sure.
Sure.
Forever.
Yeah.
And always.
Yep.
Luis Robert. I know you like Montgomery, but I mean, numbers for Robert against lefties are there.
Oh, he's like problem 1 through 9 with Montgomery. Now, could he hit 2 solo shots and that's like the only damage against Jordan Montgomery tonight? Sure. 358 ISO is top tier 490 Woba is also top tier. Like, he crushes lefties. He also has a 29% strikeout rate. So he's also like going down hacking, or he's putting one out over the fence. So perfectly fine playing Luis Robert, although I love Jordan Montgomery. Like, I'm not going to play them both together, but I'm just saying, like, I have no issues getting to Luis Robert.
Okay. I mentioned earlier, I think Kyle Tucker is interesting. Again, I think Houston could be a contrarian stack tonight, hitting third against Castillo here, who's been giving up 9 home runs over the last 5 starts for him. JD Martinez gets the righty. We know the power is there at $5,500. Lane Thomas against the lefty at $5K. Expensive, but he's been hammering right now. So if you are going Washington, I think there's obviously a case to be made for him there. What do you make of Rodriguez being under $5K at $4,800? Any interest there?
I mean, it's interesting because the price, and I've said it forever, like, he's been unlucky for large parts of the year. Still has 13 home runs and 20 stolen bases. Probably still shouldn't be under 5K, just given the potential of a breakout, and still has 31 extra base hits and 20 stolen bases. Striking out a lot this year, which is obviously a little concerning.
What other guys in this 4K range for you?
I mean, Lourdes Gurriel, 4,800. I don't think we have an Arizona lineup yet.
No, we got to think no Carroll. He's got to play, right?
Yeah, probably.
With a lefty on the mound and no Carroll. They're not going to
probably
go Smith, are they? Like,
probably, but we've thought that a lot.
Big McCarthy, Pavin Smith, 3 lefty outfielders going tonight.
Dude, we have thought that a lot. We're like, he homered in like 5 straight games, and they're like, you know what, Lourdes, you need that 6th day off.
Yeah.
You need that 6th day off. So I like Lourdes here. I mentioned it last night in the podcast. I like Adam Duvall, and I haven't changed my stance on that. And I think if you're going to get someone that's kind of low owned tonight on this Boston stack, for what it's worth, is going to be Adam Duvall. 231 ISO against lefties, 260 ISO against righties. And that's where Medina has struggled most this year. He struggled mosely with righties. 292 ISO allowed, 405 WOBA. So honestly, like, I could be sold on any Boston outfielder here. Yoshida's going to be more owned, and obviously Jarren Duran's going to be probably one of the most popular plays of the slate.
Super cheap.
The price.
Where is Yoshida's price tag?
Yoshida is priced at on the bench because he's not playing. Got it.
Okay, I was going to say, where was Yoshida? I don't even see it.
He is 48 on the bench.
I was scrolling. I didn't see it. Yeah, Duran, of course, going to be a popular play. I like Eloy. I like Nimmo. That lineup just came out against Darvish. I think the Angels are interesting, as I mentioned. The numbers for Gonsolin, a lot of regression indicators there for Gonsolin here. So, Renfroe, I know better against lefties, but I mean, I think that there's, at least for me, a contrarian stack for the Angels. I like him. I like Moniak, Adele, all cheap outfielders there to help you fit in. With Ohtani, you can go Cleveland guys. I think that's fine as well. Value outfielders, we talked about Duran last night, just forever under owned. He's $3,800, and Leotis is $33. So, like, if you want to play both of these guys again and stack the bottom of the Rangers lineup, right behind him is Simeon, Seager, Lowe, Adolis, like plenty of big bats to drive these guys in, and they're also more than capable of driving themselves in. So, I'm in there.
Yeah, and hitting right in front of them, Travis Jankowski, 2,800, and he's hit 458, John, over his last 10 games. Like, it's, again, I said it. This is the 3rd straight show. I'm going to say it, but I'll say it for anyone who hasn't heard it yet. They need to raise Texas price across the board like they did Atlanta, where everyone is expensive.
Because they can't move Seager anymore.
No. Yes. They've already done enough for all of them. I'm saying just, like, they moved Rosario. How long did we get Rosario, Osuna, Pilar, sub 3K, for so long? And then they were like, you know what? Enough of this. They scored 10 runs. They hit 5 home runs a game. Everyone over 4K. That's what Texas should look like too, because Duran and Tavares hitting 8-9 are both hitting 300 on the year. Like, enough is enough here.
Yep, I agree with you. Lineup came out for Washington. Is Stone Garrett in that lineup?
Stone Garrett. Let's see. Lineup for Washington is. Did it come out? I don't see it. Yes. Stone Garrett hitting 4th. Stone Garrett hitting 4th.
$2,500 Stone Garrett against lefty.
John, interesting lineup tonight for Washington.
Okay, spit it.
Lane Thomas is not leading off tonight.
Ooh.
CJ Abrams is leading off tonight.
Okay.
With Lane Thomas hitting second. So CJ Abrams, 2 stolen bases last game, has 4 stolen bases over his last 10 games. I don't know. Something worth mentioning. He hasn't been great against left.
Another shortstop that's leading off is what you're telling me.
Another short. They wanted to continue the trend they saw around the league. For what it's worth, Cody Bradford, although a small sample, 337 WOBA allowed to lefties this year. Abrams hasn't been great against lefties. 243 WOBA, 111.
He is a lefty, so that's not like
too
surprising. Our guy BC wants to know, is Cincy worth the stack tonight? Yes, because Corbin Burnes is the highest rostered pitcher. I am more than happy on a big slate. If you're making a couple of lineups, throw a Cincy in there because we know what that lineup can be. India, McLean, Steer, Ellie, Votto sometimes, Benson, like that crew can go off and put up a lot of runs. If you think tonight's the night against Corbin Burnes and you're willing to have some of that risk aversion, I think you can go ahead and go there. I like Jokes tonight at $2,500 as well. A guy that's really starting to come into his own. 474,000 OPS, 4 stolen bags over the last 10.
Yeah, he's nuts.
I mean, just like the kid's just breaking out everywhere right now. So yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of value on this slate here this evening. Any other value names you want to shout out?
Yeah, I mean, Colton Cowser hitting 6 tonight. If you are attacking Bailey Ober and you want to play the righty-lefty split, he's been really good. Frenchie Cordero, probably the best value on this. I mean, oh, shoot. I wasn't supposed to say that part out loud. Don't play Frenchie Cordero. Even though Jameson Taillon has been bad against lefties, you know, I'm just saying.
Not for me.
No. No, there's nothing else. I mentioned the David Fry thing earlier. You could play Michael Taylor if you're playing Twins. He does have good numbers in the power department against lefties. And John, just for the record, I did a little ownership update. I wanted to see where the field was getting. Corbin Burnes, it's updated. Corbin Burnes is still the most popular pitcher on tonight's slate.
Okay.
Aaron Savali up to 3rd. So there's a little steam coming in on Aaron Savali here. Carlos Rodon is almost getting double-digit ownership. I have no idea why Carlos Rodon's getting double-digit ownership. Jordan Montgomery, 3%, by the way. 3%.
Yeah, interesting. Mark wants to know, do we attack Rodon at all? I don't know if he's going to be in there that game long enough to attack him. So,
and the Yankees bullpen is really good.
Yeah.
It wasn't obviously last night, but like that's a whole different discussion. The Yankees just were bad the entire night in every facet of the game. So, but like they have one of the top 3 ERAs in the game and out of their bullpen. So I don't. That feels on a 12-game slate something you don't need to do.
Yeah, I'm with you there for that tonight as well. Let's get it. Home run calls here. Call of Fame, Grande Gems, and Impemba's Imprints. Give me your calls of the night.
Yeah, so home run call. I'm gonna stick with the Red Sox. I'm gonna stick with the cover boy. I'm gonna go Rafael Devers tonight. He has been really good. You mentioned the runs per. I'm playing one lineup tonight, John, and I currently have 5 Red Sox in my lineup. So, you know, that's also where I'm gonna pivot to my top stack. My contrarian stack tonight. I'm going to go Arizona. They have the 3rd highest implied run total tonight, and they're like a 4% projected team. Everyone's trying to jam, and you can play Texas and Boston together. They're the 2 highest projected teams. They're the 2 highest implied runs of the slate. They're both in great spots, so I understand why that pairing is happening. I'll pair my Boston Sox with Arizona tonight. I think Arizona's in a really good spot up against Rich Hill, especially obviously the right-handed bats there in Arizona. I'm going to go as my star of the night. I'm just going to stick with Devers. I think that's, a pretty safe bet. And I'm going to go Leody Taveras. Sorry if I just stole your value play of the night, but Leody Taveras, $3,300, fits every build you make tonight. And he's hitting 300 and has very good numbers against right.
Yeah, I agree with you. My home run calls me Kyle Tucker again. 9 home runs allowed by Luis Castillo over the last 5 starts for him. really having trouble keeping the ball in the ballpark, and he struggled on the road in the ERA over 4 this year on the road. My top stack, I'm with you. I'm going Boston. Highest team implied run total on the board. They'll be chalk. That's fine. Big slate. We're going to go different. We're going to be different in a lot of different spots. So I think you can build some lineups there with Devers and Turner and Duran and that crew and still be different where you need to be. My contrarian stack on the other side is going to be Houston. Again, they're rather inexpensive tonight. The guys in that lineup outside of Kyle Tucker are pretty cheap. So you can get them against a guy on Luis Castillo tonight. So I like that. Start of the night, I agree with you. Devers, just a great spot for him. He's hot. Boston's at home. It's warm weather, humid air. The ball's gonna fly out there. Then my value play tonight, I'm going Corey Julks. He's $2,500. Again, just kind of finishing off my Houston play there. So that's where I'm at. Tucker, Sox, Houston, Devers, and Julks. You had Devers, Red Sox, Diamondbacks, Devers, and Leodis Taveras as your value play there of the night. James, it's the MLB All-Star break. So this is the last time you and I are recording for a week, basically. The league kicks back off next Friday. So be on the lookout for the podcast Friday morning. We'll be back live and live stream Friday afternoon. But enjoy the All-Star break, everybody. We'll still be around if you got any questions for home run props. If you're playing the All-Star game, showdowns, whatever like that, get in that Discord. Part of your subscription, if you're not yet a subscriber, fantasystime.com/allpro. Promo code MLB50 gets you 50% off the first 6 months. Includes a 7-day free trial. You got to go check it all out for now. And that's get involved with the family today. Get the Fantasy Alarm Fantasy Football Draft Guide included with all of that as well. I got to run. I'm going over to SiriusXM right now. I'm going to be on the Fantasy Alarm show today with Howard Bender 6 to 8. So go tune into that as well.